Hello, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Nichols and Top's the Monkey, and we have another story for you, and it is a DRA level 3. And the name of the story is The Merry-Go-Round. And it is written by Judy Nair and illustrated by Nan Brooks. Do you like being on a merry-go-round? Have you ever ridden on a merry-go-round? I have when I was a kid. I loved it. It was my favorite ride to go on. Now, Top says it wasn't his favorite ride. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I took him on the merry-go-round one time. It's not something to be embarrassed about, Tops, but he was scared of the horses. And I kept telling him they're not real, but he didn't listen to me. So so this is just not his favorite ride. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's okay. All right, so the name of the story again is called The Merry-Go-Round, and let's do a picture book walk to find out what's in the story, what happens in the story. Oh, here are two boys. They're with their parents, and they cannot wait to ride on the merry-go-round. And then on this page, one of the boys gets on one of the horses. I wonder if the other boy's going to get on. He does. He gets on too. And they're riding and they're having a really good time as that merry-go-round goes round and around and the horses go up and down. Then it's time for them to get off. They're supposed to get off. But they decide they don't want to do that. They're going to stay on. So I don't know if the merry-go-round is still going up and down and it's still turning around and the horse is going up and down. I don't know. It seems like to me that they wouldn't stay on if the ride had discontinued. But then again, maybe they did. It doesn't really show you in this book. All we know is that both boys are still on the merry-go-round, whether it's going up and down and turning around or not. All right. But I can understand where they're coming from, the two boys, because it was my favorite ride when I was a kid, and I would not want to get off. Even if it stopped, even if that merry-go-round stopped, I still wouldn't want to get off. I would want to stay on and pretend then that it was, moving up and down. What about you, boys and girls? Would you stay on the merry-go-round if it stopped? Or would you go ahead and get off? And is it one of your favorite amusement rides? All right, let's go back and let's read. Anyway, what I just gave you was food for thought. That's what we call it. When you're thinking about something, pondering over it, is just simply called food for thought because, you're thinking about it, imagining what you would do, especially in this situation. All right, so let's go ahead and read it. Oh, look at this, boys and girls. It's got 2 lines. So that means we're going to have to do a loop. We're going to have to loop down to the next line, the next sentence. Here we go. Come on, said Ron. Let's run in. So Don and Ron, and that says ran in. Don and Ron rhyme. They sound alike. Both words have O-N, on. Ron, Don. Come on, said Ron, on, Ron, rhyme. They sound alike. Let's sp, in, spin. Let's spin. So Ron and Don, it's not going to be spin. It's got a U there. Spun. So Ron and Don spun. Come on, said Ron. Let's get. If they're not on, then they are getting off. Let's get off. No, said Don. Let's stay on. So they stayed on and on and on. And of course, that makes you wonder, is that merry-go-round continuing to spin around? And is mom and dad buying more tickets? Or did it stop and the boys are pretending that the merry-go-round is still active? All right, let's go back and read it one more time. This book is getting you ready for DRA 4 because this book, most pages have 2 lines of sentences where you have to swoop down and continue reading. And that's the kind of thing that you have to do as you move up a level. So you will be moving up to a DRA 4 where you have longer sentences and you have 2 lines of text in some books. So either you're going to have more words on a page, maybe 2 lines of text, or just longer sentences. But either way, you'll be moving up a level. All right, let's go back to the merry-go-round. And once again, it's a DRA level 3. Come on, said Ron. Let's run in. So Don and Ron ran in. Come on, said Ron. Let's spin. So Ron and Don spun. Come on, said Ron. Let's get off. No, said Don. Let's stay on. So they stayed on and on and on. Now, boys and girls, What do you think will happen next? We saw what happened at the end of this story, and we did some thinking. We did some food for thought as to what's happening here. So, what do you think is going to happen next? Draw a picture and write a sentence or two about what do you think's happening next, what's going to happen next in this story. If the author of the story was going to continue writing, what do you think the author will, what do you think will be on the next page? All right, so boys and girls, Tops and I enjoyed sharing this book with you, and we look forward to reading more books. So please go to our site, topsandmonkey.com, and download our free activity that goes with this book. All right, see you then. Bye-bye.